If you think a 70-ton modern main battle tank could simply mow down 90,000 cold weapon Mongol horsemen in 1211, you're almost certainly dead within the first 10 minutes. Today, we tear apart all fantasies of invincible tech. In this scenario, there are no cheats, no magical powers, only absolute merciless physics and a countdown to survival. The year is 1211, Wild Fox Ridge, northern China. On the horizon, 90,000 Mongol cavalrymen, armed with composite bows and heavy spears, are lined up with deadly discipline. These are not ragtag warriors. They are a machine of cold-blooded slaughter, poised to conquer half the known world. And there, tearing into the battlefield, comes a 70-ton M1 Abrams, barreling through the dust at 70 kilometers per hour. Its first 120mm smoothbore shell erupts, sending a shockwave through the dense cavalry and cleaving a swath of blood and flesh. To these 13th century warriors, this is not a weapon, it's a fire-breathing dragon risen from hell. The tank's fire control computer locks on mercilessly to every enemy commander, and thermal imaging renders night and smoke meaningless. For the first 10 minutes, the battlefield is a one-sided massacre. But this illusion lasts only 10 minutes. The crew knows the tank is bound by 3 deadly constraints. Never stop moving. A stationary 70-ton tank becomes a magnet for tens of thousands of charging horsemen. Keep distance. Mongol cavalry excel in swarm tactics. If soldiers swarm the hull, control is lost instantly. Ammo is finite. 42 main cannon rounds and limited coaxial machine gun rounds. Once they're gone, the tank is powerless. No resupply exists in this temporal battlefield. And then the horror sets in. In the starless night, the tank commander sees the red blips on the thermal display. The cavalry, instead of mindless charges, split into dozens of strange arcs, silently encircling blind spots like bloodthirsty ants. Inside, the crew sweats through the realization. Without modern logistics, the tank is not a god, it's a ticking time bomb. Even if each shell kills 100 riders, 42 rounds remove only 4,000 lives, a fraction against 90,000 armored warriors. When the last belt of machine gun rounds slides empty, this multi-million-dollar Jeffrey round weapon loses long-range deterrence, reduced to a clumsy rolling iron block. The one absolute rule for survival: never stop moving. One halted engine or stuck track, and this 70-ton beast instantly becomes a steel tomb. The Mongols' mastery of pack tactics and swarm warfare now comes into play. Hundreds, thousands of warriors climb the tank like ants, rendering sensors and fire control useless. Soon, the main cannon is exhausted, fuel rapidly depletes, and the Mongols, still led by the unflinching Genghis Khan, do not retreat. They drag strange heavy implements and surround the tank, systematically exploiting every mechanical blind spot. Because once the internal rounds are gone and the tracks jam, the tank becomes not a god, but a suffocating steel coffin. Worse still, the commanders on the distant hills, along with the deadliest cold weapon hunters in history, watch with icy precision. Genghis Khan's army shows no fear, only calculated deconstruction. Hundreds fall to the tank's fire, but to the distant commanders, these bodies are merely data points, measuring the interval between the tank's fire, testing turret rotation speed, evaluating recoil recovery. They ignite grass, throw bodies into the path, obstructing tracks. After thousands of casualties, the Mongols learn the tank's speed, turning, delay, firing cadence, and even its blind spots. Their adaptability exceeds any modern arrogance. Genghis Khan coldly observes the beast slowing, issuing an order that terrifies Modern armored units, tens of thousands of horses and soldiers drag strange broyas, implements, encircling the isolated tank like a black tidal wave. Inside the sealed tank, the crew notices a fatal red alert flashing on the dashboard. When the first wave of heavy cavalry is crushed under the tracks, the Mongols do not kneel in prayer, they study the tank's rear and awkward turning blind spots. Once fear of the unknown fades, the seemingly unstoppable tank faces a brutal reversal, a battlefield turned into a viscous trap of blood, flesh, and debris. Hundreds, thousands of horses and oxen, ignited or coated with fire oil, push toward the tank. Flaming arrows ascend, scorching the grassland, not to burn the tank, but to blind its optics. Thermal imaging, once capable of piercing Siberian blizzards, now shows only white flashes against a backdrop of fire and smoke. The high-tech fire control becomes blind. Hunter and prey roles invert in the smoky chaos. The tank can only drive blindly, relying on the periscope. Mongols manipulate terrain, driving the beast toward a narrow, muddy, dry riverbed. Blood, shredded bone, broken armor, and splintered spears form a thick, sticky vor. Sludge that jams the tracks. With a sickening crunch, a track snaps. The 70-ton machine sinks into the mirror, losing mobility. The commander stomps the accelerator in desperation. The turbine roars, sucking in smoke and heated air. Finally, the tank halts. The crew's sweat turns cold. Outside, Mongol engineers silently pile oil-soaked straw and dead bodies on the force tank, creating a living grave. Boiling oil floods into the engine compartment and turret. Inside, the first screams echo. Tracks jam completely as bodies and debris lock the drive shaft. The roaring war machine, its fuel exhausted, dies. 7 centuries of technology, defeated by human ingenuity and sacrifice, reduced to immobile steel. This is no miraculous victory, it's a punishment for technological arrogance and a reminder of war's immutable law. When fuel is gone and machine gun ammo depleted, the composite armor becomes an impenetrable coffin. Mongol soldiers do not need to breach it, they light fires around it. Smoke fills the cabin. Temperature rises, suffocating the modern crew to death. The disparity of weapons cannot overcome human survival instincts and ingenuity. But on this sandy ridge, horsemen ignorant of the globe's shape, through trial, error, and cold-blooded sacrifice, shatter all technological arrogance. As the sand buries the 70-ton wreck, leaving only rusting antennas pointing skyward, history continues its relentless march. Now the question is yours. Facing a civilization far beyond our comprehension, would humanity dare to fill the void with lives to survive, as the ancients did? Or would we, confronting absolute technological disparity, lack even the right to be cannon fodder? Leave your answer in the comments, and let the debate begin.